Any comments on that? Do you expect any repercussions from the league after what we just saw with Hagel?
The only players we hit are the ones with pucks. So.
What a fucking asshole. But anyway.
That's why nobody likes him.
He's a lawyer. He should know plagiarism is a big deal. That's a big no-no.
I'm your host, Kirby Lupo, joined alongside, as always, Cesar Lucero, co-host of the Cats and Rats podcast, Nick Levine. Cody Stevens is away today, so we have two special guests here. One you'll recognize and one new to After Dark, to the podcast, everything here. So we welcome our moderator here today, Ryan Chunera, and then we're joined by Chris Scott as well. How's it going, gentlemen?
Yo, doing great. How you doing, Chris?
I'm hanging in there, guys. I just love Caesar's hat. I saw it earlier on Twitter, and I thought it was the greatest idea he's ever come up with. And he's come up with some pretty dang good ideas. So I really loved it. It's good stuff, Caesar.
Before we get into today's game, Panthers drop game 3 here. It would have been nice, as Nick told me off air, to be up 3-0, but alas, we're only up 2-1 here going into game 4. But Ryan, Chris, whoever would like to start here, what was your guys' thoughts initially on the Brandon Hagel, Sasha Barkov play hit there, and then kind of how the league handled it? What was your guys' thoughts on that? Ryan, we'll start with you.
I kind of like how they tried to set the tone in the series. It was kind of like, you can't get away with this. We're gonna set the foot down. I think that hit was a little extra dirty because there was Barkov never touched the puck. It wasn't like Tkachuk's hit today. Barkov didn't have the puck. Barkov didn't touch the puck, and it was an obvious headshot. And I think that was like the impact. He aimed for his head, which I think was part of it why he should have got suspended. And it just sends a message, because these teams, we've constantly seen them, they become chippy over the last couple of years. Whenever they play each other, there's always scrums, there's always fights. We've seen the Kucherov knee on Tkachuk earlier this year. It's just things that are like, you just don't want them happening and spreading. And we saw it even today. It's like, it's still going to happen anyways. There's still going to be retaliation. And I guess they tried to make the suspension do its job, but it's playoff hockey at the same time. So I see both sides.
My eyes might be darting around right now because the Ottawa-Toronto game is currently in overtime. The third straight game in this series gone to overtime. Chris, what was your thoughts there as well?
On the Hagel hit, I tweeted this out for my 5 followers that I have.
I'm going to play it while you guys are talking in the background here. We got both clips here. The Barkov hit on top and the Tkachuk hit, or the Gensel hit on the bottom.
Again, I disagree with Ryan on the headshot part, but we'll jump into that after. Chris, go ahead.
I was about to get on an airplane here at Atlanta International Airport and go fight Hagel myself. Because
you're a Barkov truther.
I am a Barkov truther, and so you don't mess with my boy. So that it was extremely dirty. He didn't have the puck at all, and you could see that he was eyeing him a mile away. Like it was really bad. So that one was a brutal hit, and I was a little surprised he didn't get the game in context as he hurt him.
I agree with you, because if you look at Hagel here, he's staring at Barkov's back the whole time. He's not even looking at the puck at all. I honestly think he's headhunting, even though he didn't hit him in the head. But just literally, as soon as he goes in the zone, he's staring at Barkov like, okay, let me get an opportunity. As soon as I get it, I'm going to hit him.
Because Barkov's a big, strong guy. It takes a lot for him to take a hit like that. Like the only way he's ever going to take a hit like that if he shouldn't be receiving it, right? Like he always prepares himself. He's one of the best at doing so. So him getting just laid out like that, yeah, that was a very dirty hit. I'm not entirely sure if Hagel has that reputation or not. I honestly don't really care. I do think the suspension was a good thing. The one game, I wouldn't have expected anything more than that, especially with it being playoffs. I was happy with the suspension. We'll probably get into the Tkachuk hit later, but I thought that Kachuk was just an idiot. But
well, the Kachuk hit is right here at the bottom. If you kind of look, Kachuk literally just squares right in front of him, shoulder to shoulder. So, I mean, it's a totally different play. Now, do I agree that Kachuk should have done that? No. Honestly, in this point of the game, why risk it? I understand you want to get retaliation, but do it in the beginning of the game rather than late in the game where you could possibly get a suspension here.
Nick, what's your thoughts, especially on the one today here, Kachuk on Gensel?
Well, the same thing I said for Brandon Hagel. I think it's unacceptable. I think it's number one, just speaking from a Panthers aspect, it's a dumb, irresponsible play, and it's not needed.
And Kachuk has a suspension history. I don't think Hagel did. I think that was his first suspension.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
So I don't. Now it was a different hit, and even if he does or doesn't get suspended, you put your team at risk, because if you did get suspended, or if he does get suspended, that
they're counting this game as over at that point in playoffs.
Yeah. Yes, it's
season,
done.
It's
done.
So this is why I was having a conversation with Ryan on the post game. I'm like, it's worse, Ryan, to do this at the end of the game than the beginning of the game.
And when it's 5-1,
they might constitute not a suspension, no matter what.
When it's 5-1. 5-1, you could argue, hey, the game's over. He's trying to go out there and hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas if it's a one-goal game, like it was with Hagel, I'm not saying what Hagel did wasn't a cheap shot. It's like if it's a one-goal game midway through the third, you could kind of have a little bit more of an argument. Well, it's not intentional. Why would I try to do that in a one-goal game?
Mm-hmm. And Tampa fans saying, well, Barkov's playing this up and everything like that. Okay, we're going to take our captain out of the game when there's 6 to 8 minutes.
In a one-goal game.
In a one-goal game.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
A multi-time Selke winner, by the way.
And we're going on a 5-minute power play. It doesn't make any sense.
And you have to look at the time and situation of the game for that play and then for this one as well. So I'm not going to talk out two sides of my mouth.
Well, Gensel came back on the ice.
Right.
Gensel came back.
That could be the one thing. It was a different hit, but it was still unacceptable. It was not needed. And it was on the Kachuk front. For the Panthers, it was also very, very irresponsible because it could have ended a lot. It can end a lot worse. Now, I'm not saying he is suspended or he isn't suspended. I don't think he will be, but we'll have to see. But it's a very irresponsible. It's an unacceptable hit.
I want to know Ryan's take on that because he was my post game. What is your thoughts on this, Ryan? You're able to digest a little more. Do you still differ with it?
Yeah, I'm totally on the opposite of it. I think part of what changed from when we acquired Kachuk is we have a reputation as a team that we're not going to get walked on. We're going to be physical. We're going to do this shit. This is the shit that makes the Florida Panthers now. So unlike you guys, I'm glad he didn't do it at the beginning of the game because you take a penalty in the beginning of the game and you give a team a 5-minute power play. That's how it gets out of hand early.
What if he gets suspended?
Well, then it's a different conversation. But I think the hit, what he made sure that it was he went straight to the chest of Gensel. He didn't hit him from behind, which he easily could have if you watch the replay. He came in. He was originally from behind him, and he went in front of him to make sure he hit him square in the chest. And I think it just sets a precedent, like, don't touch our guys, and you'll see what happens. And a guy like Gensel, especially, who's been very good this series for Tampa, one of their better players, and that, makes him think twice about what he's doing diddly-daddling. You're just in his head for the rest of the series. I think after you're down 4-1 and Kachuk knows, this might be a long series, it's not going to be a sweep, these are when these start to add up. If this is going to be a long series, you got to be prepared. This is how you get in one of their star players' head, and you always bet he's going to be looking twice as hard up, and he's not going to be diddly-daddling like this, looking around, admiring his pass like some peewee hockey player. So I liked what Kachuk did, and I think, based on the circumstances and in the context, it's fine to do. And I think they gave him a 5 because they're like, we don't want it to get anything further. Let's just kick him off the ice. I don't think he didn't leave his feet like Diehard said in the comments. I don't think it was that egregious of a hit, and I don't think there's a chance you could suspend a guy for that. And
no, I think it's a.
Ryan, I agree with Ryan. He didn't do that blindside there, Nick. He kind of rerouted.
No, he did do it smart, but knowing how the series has gone, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think it's going to be a suspension, but you never know because of how the series has gone. What just happened with Hagel? There is a comparison there. Then it's like, is the NHL going to just make this right and do this? I don't know. regardless, it's a really irresponsible play because it puts your team at jeopardy whether you get suspended or not. And if, Ryan, you want to talk about making a difference on Gensel, you want to know how you make those guys think again? When you're in the middle of the ice and you're fucking deking through each and one of our players,
Thank you.
put them on their ass.
Okay, tell that to Gustav Forsling.
Put them on their ass. It has happened every fucking time. Excuse my language.
Barkov, Ryan.
It happened in the first game. Braden Point. It was along the wall, touch passes here, there, through guys' legs. That same thing happened with Gensel today.
Yeah.
Put
So if they're not,
him on his ass. If you're
if they're
Sam
not going to
Reinhart,
step up, if they're not going to step up in those chances, you got to leave your mark somehow.
so I'm glad we did it in a 5-1 game where there's maybe a potential he gets suspended. You know
He's
what I
not
want?
going to get suspended. If he gets suspended, whole different conversation.
You know what I
he did
want?
was perfectly.
I want him to put them on their ass when they're trying this fancy shit in the middle of the ice. Make them not want to go to the middle of the ice.
I agree.
That's
I'm
what we
not
need to
disagreeing
do.
with you. I'm not
They
disagreeing.
got to the middle of the ice too much.
This fancy ass shit. We were soft today.
We were soft.
And it all started with Forsling not
soft
being
and
able to
slow.
clear the puck there. Forsling clears the puck, that play doesn't happen.
I don't know if we could pull up the.
I'm trying to look for it. So,
Okay. So what happens
I'll
is
get it.
Aaron Ekblad, the puck gets chipped in kind of deep. I wouldn't even say it's too deep. Aaron Ekblad is kind of boxing out Yanni Gord. Aaron Ekblad, Gustav Forsling's 5 feet behind you. You were 5 feet closer to the puck. Turn around. Gord is nowhere near you, and ship it to Forsling.
Yep.
What are you doing? And now Forsling has to skate all the way back, and all of a sudden you don't get the puck out of the zone, and it's in. And that's just one of the many examples. I thought the biggest thing today was we lacked simplicity. We lacked simplicity in our game, and it cost us. So, and
Are
that's
we
not
going
it.
are we going to a clip here? Because I got a topic for you guys.
Go ahead.
I want to get into it because it was his return here after the 20-game suspension. Everyone's thoughts on Aaron Ekblad. Chris, start us off here.
I thought he was our best player, guys. He was absolutely tremendous. And for those of you who've never heard me speak before, I am dripping with sarcasm right now. He was awful. We got the traffic cone here for a reason because that's basically what he was.
So this is the third goal that we were talking about.
Well, I was talking about the first goal, but let's play the third goal.
Let's play the
Yeah, go
third
ahead.
goal.
There's so much room there.
Ekblad, right there. What are you doing?
That was ugly.
Did y'all see the score?
You know what?
card?
Can you pause it at a certain point?
Again,
Yeah.
is this with Lusto here in
Yeah.
front of Forsling?
Yes.
You have to watch what they're doing.
Just
there.
keep going. Keep it going further. Wait, hold, wait. Okay. Hold on a minute. Keep it going a little bit. Stop. Okay. A little bit further back, Caesar, if you don't mind. Okay. Who's looking where? I mean, Lostarinen's watching the puck. Nobody takes Gensel's stick.
That's Forsling's guy.
You got either body.
Nobody takes Gensel's stick. Like, what are you doing? And then play
And
it.
people are blaming Bob on this. He's down on his knees. He loses his stick because Ekblad gets it caught up in his body, I believe. So he doesn't have a stick there. The puck is rolling, and that's why Gensel's able to put it upstairs.
To be fair,
But no
Bob
one's,
loses
no one's
stick all
on
the time.
Gensel there.
But see, Ekblad's got to put fucking Kucherov on his ass right now. Right there. Like
I thought he was fine there. The problem wasn't that. Listen, I don't even know what to think of that goal. I thought it was a nice pass by Kucherov. Obviously not ideal. I had a bigger problem with the first goal, not getting the puck out. And the second goal, we couldn't get the puck in deep. Forsling failed to clear it, and then Lundell failed to get it
We'll
deep.
pull up the first
I'll
one.
And
pull up the
Marchand
first
broke his stick. He went to the bench, and that caused the 2-on-1.
You guys
for the
didn't
second
see
goal.
this. I don't know if some of you saw this at the rink. I saw it clearly on TV. Marchand on that play when he broke his stick. Everyone saw him get off the ice late there on the late change. He could have got off before that. And before that, Forsling could have cleared the puck. So there was a lot of errors there. And also, we got beat backdoor side when Marchand was covering a guy with no stick. We're lucky that wasn't a goal. I don't know if Bob got a piece of that or it went wide, but there was like 3-4 breakdowns on that play before Marchand went off to the bench. So calamity of errors there. that resulted in a goal at the very end of that shift. And I think that was a shift with Forsling and Ekblad caught out there for about 1:45.
It was bad.
That wasn't good either.
We were soft. We lacked simplicity, and that's about it, right?
Did y'all look at the scorecard? Did y'all see the scorecard?
That's about what I expect. I mean,
I just want to focus on Ekblad and Forsling and how bad they were.
I think Forsling was worse.
Do you have the first goal, Caesar?
Yep,
I'm with you.
I have it here.
Okay, let's play that first goal. I had a real problem with this, and maybe I wasn't able to see a replay, so maybe I'm wrong. Forgive me. Let's take a look here. So puck's cleared. It's out. Look.
This is where Forsling.
What is that flag doing?
So this is where Forsling for kind of lazy on clearing the puck.
And then this is where we're stick hunting here.
Mm-hmm. You have to hit it.
Rewind that a little bit more now, real quick. Okay, now go. Why is Gensel able to do this? Put
That's
him
Reinhardt.
on his ass.
That's Reinhardt right there.
Put him on his ass. What are we doing here?
And Forsling is just screaming.
Take the body.
And Barkov had an opportunity to stop it, and he just.
And you see what our first pairing is like when they get by Barkov and Reinhardt. They're not stepped up. They're slacked down low. Like when our forwards aren't playing well defensively, Nick, you start to see that's where our defense gets exposed. And I don't understand why we're clearing up that strong side wall there. Tampa has shut that down repeatedly throughout the series, from the first period in game 1 throughout the series, and the Panthers continue to start games in those fashion, in those ways early in hockey games. And today it kind of bit them in the ass.
Here's the thing: you take a look at Ekblad to start. If you want to go back for a second, I mean, if you're going to do that, don't make sure Yanni Gord's not able to get the Forsling a little bit further back. Make sure Yanni Gord's not able.
Well, Forsling even here could throw it behind the net.
Yeah.
Yeah, reverse the puck or look for the short outlet. Now, Cody was saying that the forwards weren't supporting a lot today, but it's still the defenseman's job
to be able
to make the read on the play.
Yeah, if you pause when Forsling's in the corner there, he had Ekblad behind the net too.
Yeah, he's got Ekblad all by himself.
But I say this, and people argue with me about this, the first pairing communicates. I don't think they communicate well at all.
Well, I think in this case, he was out for 20 games, so even if they were communicating, there's probably just a little bit of rust there between the two of them, even though they have played with each other so long.
But
there's going to be that little bit of rust there.
But they've been practicing for the last.
Practicing is not playoff hockey, though.
I understand, but you got to at least practice to communicate. You know,
I get Chris's point, but they have played together for a long time too.
I mean, I understand that, but you're going to have a little bit of rust there. I mean, we've got the best players in the world in the NHL. Like we saw.
The biggest problem for me is this play right here. I don't get how you let this happen. Oh, Kucherov, terrible play by Barkov, by the way. Then Reinhardt pokes at it with his stick. I don't get it. Like you shouldn't be able to do that. Like. Hey, Gensel should be on his ass. I keep saying it's unacceptable.
The Nate Schmidt goal on the F1 and F2 forecheck from Marchand Luosterainen on the road. That's Panthers hockey. This is not Panthers hockey.
And it's uncharacteristically bad by us tonight.
I think ultimately for me, us playing this bad is actually a good thing for us, and that sounds really weird. But we need to get our heads knocked in a few times, for the long run. I think because the first period was a terrific period overall. I think overall that was one of the best periods that we've had, and because we finally had our full lineup out there. You know, Tkachuk is finally out there. Ekblad is back. Barkov wasn't out today, so we finally, for the first time since the trade deadline, we've had our full unit out there.
But then we have Mackey playing on the fourth line, Chris.
Yeah, Mackey did not have a very good game.
But I don't get the fourth line thing.
Mackey, if you're going to put him on the fourth line, scratch him.
I think he just needs to be scratched anyway. I noticed in game 2 he was starting to get bullied a little bit out there.
Yeah,
he got demoted in the second.
And this is what I said. I said before the trade deadline, wouldn't surprise me if Maurice just scratches him. Again, rookies, this is what happened to Anton Lundell. And Mackey does get pushed around a bit out there. I mean,
did Lundell get scratched his rookie year, or did he just get demoted?
Yes.
No, he got scratched.
He got scratched for Noah Achari.
Okay.
So this is the fourth goal, the 2-on-1. And here is where Forsling pinches in at the blue line, whiffs, and creates that odd man rush.
And then people were blaming Ekblad fully on this.
This is the fourth goal, Glendenning's goal?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not on Ekblad. Watch Forsling on it.
Right there.
Terrible.
What the
that's
fuck
such a
are you
terrible
doing?
finish.
It was
What
Now
are you
it's a 2-goal game with 5.5 left.
I don't like it still, Nick.
They're told to
What you gonna
pinch.
stand the guy up there?
No,
and make the play?
They're told to pinch,
Okay,
not to be
If you're
reckless.
told to pinch, at least fucking lay him out.
Or Nick, be earlier on the pinch.
That's so
I'm
soft.
just telling you. Listen, I'm telling you. There's 5.5 minutes left. You need a goal. You're down by 2. That's
Okay.
what
Well,
You can
I
make
seen
that
those
play
plays-
100
okay,
times.
I seen those plays happen earlier in the game, Nick, as well.
Well, I don't disagree with you on that. I'm just telling you what the play
The
was.
way
there.
he approached him, that's not working in a million times if you try that over and over again. That's a terrible play.
Yeah, you're so far away from the boards.
You
can't
went behind
hit
him,
the wall,
too.
Nick.
You didn't go
Pitch
puck
up the
side.
wall. Like where Forsling pinches from there, I hate that with his game. Pinch along the wall, not 4 feet off the boards, Nick.
Why are you?
Yeah,
You're
you're
not even
caught
getting
there.
between puck
With a
and
skilled
man.
team, Brian. With a skilled team in
Yeah.
Tampa.
No, but why?
Yeah.
He's not getting between the puck and the man. What is he accomplishing there? You're not laying him out. It looks like if he was a Cronwall, he'd deck him, but he's not, so he barely touched him.
Yeah, if you're a bigger guy, you're going to eliminate
If
him.
you know you're more of a skill guy, like defensive, better with your stick, you get between the puck and the man. What are you doing waiting, like going on his backside? You're not
When
doing
OEL and Monter were pinching last year, Nick, they weren't pinching at that spot of the ice. They were going along the wall.
I mean,
I think
right.
Ottawa just scored and extended this series.
Did they?
Well,
I'm about to find out in a sec.
So Toronto, you ain't getting as much rest as you thought.
Good.
Oh, yes, they did.
Maybe
okay.
Brick-
Everybody's way ahead of me then.
I don't
me
know.
too, dog. Don't worry.
All right, me and Ryan are, holding up the rear over here.
Is it Nick? No, I don't know.
And we're headed back to Toronto, folks.
So, but yeah, I mean,
Spoiler alert.
I agree with Kirby here and Ryan. I mean,
Wow, how did that
it's
go? Man?
just, you have no reason. You're still within reach. You got 2. You're down 2. Anything can happen.
With 6 minutes left, which is a lot of time in hockey.
A lot of time. You cannot do this in a critical game and put your own defense on an island, and especially
And
Ekblad,
Ekblad's coming back in the line for his first game.
Yeah.
right?
Like, these are the things I'm like, not smart hockey.
None. And the thing is, we didn't see this when Seth Jones was Forsling. We didn't see any of this.
They're not changing it. So let's get that out of our heads. They're not changing it. Yeah, and I'm going to just say this. If you think Forsling with Ekblad was bad tonight, Ekblad with Mikkola is not going to be good either.
I thought you were saying if you thought Forsling was bad tonight, if you thought Anthony Stolarz was bad tonight. Holy
Are we gonna
I don't know.
talk
I don't know how
about
that goal went in.
He can't catch the puck. I hate goalies who can't catch the puck. Thank
Yeah.
you, Bob, for having a good hand. Thank
So
you, Rob Callis.
fundamentally
A lot of
bad.
people blame Bob for this game, but honestly, I didn't
No,
think
I'm not blaming
he
Bob.
he didn't have a chance. I know there was other people saying that they didn't like the way he was out there. They thought he was.
Well, Ryan could talk about a little bit how his movement was in the net, but again, look at these goals here that we're showing.
Yeah, it's all defensively.
He just
so.
looked shaky.
Yeah, I don't think he was bad, and I don't think
I'm not gonna blame him.
he wasn't bad, but he wasn't great. Right? It was all
Nobody
right, I
was.
guess.
Let's just put it this way: nobody on our
It was-
on our team was. great.
Listen,
Yeah, who was good today?
nobody.
Erod, maybe.
Erod, maybe. Yeah.
I heard
Mark
some loose
After
goal ones
this
out
one.
there.
I just gotta say, if we're
That
talking
Jones
about
wasn't
a bottom 6 forward, bottom pair guys, that's not a good thing.
That's not. Yeah, you don't want Erod being your best player.
I don't
No.
think he wrote it. I don't know.
I don't
Listen,
even know who.
you take a look at Tampa. Credit to them. I thought they forechecked a lot better today. I thought we were bad. We were soft.
What about Tampa Bay's depth scoring that you and Cody were getting on me about on the podcast?
Where was it the first 2 games?
I don't know what came up today and they got them a
Oh,
win.
okay,
It
let's-
wasn't just-
It's a
Shout out
7.
to Cody here
It's
in
a
the chat.
7-game series.
Nick Paul's been.
Yes. By the way, Caesar, this is from
Mhm.
somebody who texted me. Let me tell you what they said.
That Caesar's hat is amazing, and don't ever blame him for a
Tell,
loss.
tell Caesar he can never wear that fucking hat again. It's
Oh, I
bad
won't.
luck.
I will never bring it to you.
Okay. Throw it out. Throw it out.
Burn it, burn it, burn it.
No, but I just want to get back in here. I think we needed this loss because I after that first period we played really well overall, we might have gotten a little too cocky, and we kind of needed them to punch back, because we always play at our best when the other team is punching us back. We have been really bad over the past couple of years of playing down to competition, and so we need them to elevate their game for us to kind of get us going. So I never want to see the Panthers lose.
But
we all have that, but
why do I?
Not every team gets swept. Not every team.
Why do I get blamed, Cody? The hell do I get blamed?
Because of reasons.
Yeah,
I don't know those reasons.
They were very good reasons.
So, by the way,
that's a good point there by Chris. I don't think Tampa has given us. Everyone thought Tampa was going to give us their best punch to start game 2 in that first period, and that really wasn't the case. So again, Tampa showed spurts again, and I like this. And I know Nick hasn't mentioned this yet either, guys. Tampa still hasn't got off on the power play, and to me, that's a good sign for the Panthers.
Great point.
That's going to create a lot of carryover.
Here's the thing:
2 other games down.
And I said this last year after Game 3. Is the way that they won last year after Game 4 when we lost to Tampa Bay, I'm like, is the way they won sustainable? I don't know. I mean, I don't think we're going to be that bad again. And I don't know if Tampa Bay can replicate that depth scoring again or what they did. I don't know if they can replicate the depth scoring. I don't know.
They do get a win with Brandon Hagel out of the lineup.
And that's big. And I talked about that. It was a golden opportunity. You missed it. You can't do anything about it.
There's not a chance Luke Glendening scores again. Come on.
But
he had a good game. I thought he had a good game before he scored.
But here's the thing. Look. We were uncharacteristically soft. We were uncharacteristically bad. I don't think that happens again.
That's the way I feel. There is no way. You look at that the first goal, Barkey and Rhino. Do you honestly think that would happen to them again?
I think they're gonna
not that they're perfect, but I can't see them for multiple games having just god awful plays like that.
We're up 2-1 in this
series.
Especially
Barkov. Barkov. This could be because he's probably still not healthy.
100%.
I thought he was a little hesitant today after taking that hit, going into the corners, going along the wall. I'm not trying to make excuses. I saw that from the first period where he wasn't going in there full force. And you know this, Chris, being a big Barkov truther. He wasn't twisting and turning, holding on to the puck, making plays. He was very cautious going around and maneuvering around behind the camp.
I don't know how the offense is a cause for concern, considering we put up 6 in game 1, and then
if anything, I'm more concerned of keeping our foot on the gas.
Yes.
No, I'm worried about. I don't think we're going to replicate how bad we were. I think we're going to be a heck of a lot better, and I think Tampa did some things tonight that, if we're better, won't rain through as much. Tampa's a good team. But we're up 2-1 in this series, and we got to win 2 more games, and we're a damn good team, and we know we can. And we're at home next game. We're going to get the matchups we want. So let's focus on Monday. We're in the driver's seat here still. So
great point by Frank here. I personally would like to see Marchand play on the first line, possibly. Move Hagee in the second, and maybe what's his name?
It's just who you're going to play on the third line. Who are you planning to put Lundell and Lusto? Who are you planning to put there? Erod?
No. Why am I so bad at names?
I've got a guy, but I don't know if it's going to work. What, Mackey?
Mackey, yeah.
I don't know.
With the way he's been bullied this series, I don't think that's going to be a good idea.
I don't think that's a checking line then, Caesar.
Well, here's the thing. If you're going to put Mackey anywhere, put him with Barkov and Reinhart. If you're not going to put him with Barkov and Reinhart,
scratch him.
Don't do it. Then scratch him.
Yeah.
Because that's just the way it goes. And if Verhaeghe doesn't want to show up, I mean, you could try Mackey, Barkov, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Benekachuk, Lundell, Lusto, Marchand. Get Greer in the lineup, by the way, and get Folkfist out of there.
I just want to jump in on Mackey. Lundell, Lusto line isn't great against Tampa, and it's really not playing into our hand if you're playing against Toronto. That you need a heavier line on that third line.
They're not going to put down.
Verhaeghe only should go down to the second line. Anything outside of first or second line.
Verhaeghe on the third line, I don't see that as a checking line in the playoffs. People are going to say Verhaeghe played some of his best hockey during the regular season on the third line, but I don't see that happening in the playoffs. I don't. That's me.
I'd like to
line.
see Marshawn on the first line because Marshawn is such a smart player, and then you've got him playing with the two of the smartest players in the league. I'd be interested in seeing that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Caesar's point there. I just don't see it with Mackey on a third line. I see what Nick's saying. You're going to scratch him if you start.
Yeah, you would have to scratch Mackey for that.
Second line or
Scratch him for one game. Put in Greer, the guy that can forecheck and backcheck on that third line. And
I would
you can't have
over Mackey because Mackey can play on your power play.
Greer can't touch the third line.
Whoever you
you're right.
That's Erod probably could. I mean, so you have Erod. I mean, again, it all depends.
That's the problem, Caesar. When you start to try to do that, then
But now we're talking about. We were talking about. Is it Greer?
I like the idea of Marshall.
We were talking about is it Greer? Is it Boakfist? Potentially Erod. Now we're talking about Mackey being scratched, and
But I really think you need to have that Marchand Lundell loose the line if you're looking ahead to matchups in future series. I know we have to beat Tampa first, but I think if you want that line going and you want to have all 3-4 lines rolling, I really think you have to have Marchand separated from Tkachuk or Barkov, or you start to stack your lines, and then you're taking a guy like Mackey out of the lineup. Then your lineup just starts to get, I think, watered down a bit, Nick.
I agree. And I think you need to spread that depth throughout the lineup evenly. And I think, again, what I would do is I would swap Mackey and Verhaeghe because I saw what Mackey could do with Barkov and Reinhart.
And again, I know Boquist is playing on the fourth line right now, but he's played up on the second, third line. He hasn't scored in 30 games, guys.
He's a lost.
He played 6 minutes in game 3. What is he at? He's not doing special teams really. So again, there's guys out there.
He's doing a little bit of penalty killing. I've seen him.
So unless you want to do Barkov, Reinhart,
rolling the lines.
So unless you want to do Barkov, Reinhart, Marchand, Verhaeghe, Bennett, Tkachuk, Lundell, Luostarinen, and Erod, then Sturm, Boakfist, Greer.
That's probably what I would do. I'd be okay with Mackey putting Mackey on the first line because at the very least you've got, again, the two smartest players in the league out there with him, and I think he would be fine there. I would like to though see Marchand get a crack up there and see what happens.
Yeah, we haven't given
it early right now, so we can't judge it off of the last 2 playoffs. But so far with Nico Sturm, I'm not seeing him be as effective as Eric Stahl was. And definitely not as much as Kevin Stenlund was. He needs to pick up his game. We need more zone time with that fourth line. We're not getting enough from that fourth line with zone time.
I will say in Nico's defense, on the PK, he was really good.
Yes, he's been good on the PK.
He was really good on the PK.
But we need 5v5 zone time so we can roll 4 lines and show the depth that we do have. There's certain guys that got to step it up.
Especially since Tampa only has 2 lines. We need to take advantage of that. So, I definitely agree with Kirby there. They need to. He needs to start doing a little bit more on the 5-on-5.
Yeah, and again, we got to stay out of the box, Nick. You talked about that. That's going to kill all your 5v5 momentum too. And I think we had it in this series because Tampa really hasn't shown it too much, other than maybe early in that game 1, and then it kind of went away on them as well. So,
and I think they got a power play goal. I think it was the empty netter though. That was considered the.
Power play?
I'm not sure.
No,
they went 1 for 6. Oh, they did? I thought they went 1 for 6. But yeah, look, I mean, again, if you're able to cancel out each other's power plays, which is what I think the series has gone so far, I think we have 3, they have 2 or 1. So actually we have the advantage. But even if you're just able to cancel out the power plays, then it becomes a 5-on-5 game. And I like our chances there. Again, we're up 2-1. We're in the driver's seat. We have a home game on Monday night in a series where we're up 2-1. Nobody predicted a sweep.
Nope.
Yeah.
But this is where we are.
But
it's a damn good position. And let's go play our game and try to get up 3-1.
I got 0 for 5 Tampa. That's what I got.
Okay. Then I might have read it wrong.
If we don't win game 4 in Florida, all the momentum goes to Tampa.
Yep, 100%. Because they go back home.
They go back home, and it's like, okay, we can play with these guys. And then it's going to be like, oh, shit. Then that's what we're going to have to
And they got home ice back.
Yep.
It hasn't meant anything so far, but you still have it back.
It's going to get downright nasty here on Monday. And I can't wait to go to that.
Big game. It's a big game.
I'm with Nick. If we play our game impose our will on Tampa, we should not have a problem. What happened was today we stopped playing our game.
And we played their game.
And we
And
just
we were
got
so
ran
slow.
off the ice. We can't do that. We were soft. We were not good with the puck. Defense was just not existent. Like, it was just non-existent.
Right.
And that is not Florida Panthers hockey. Florida Panthers hockey is you get in the offensive zone, you put everybody on their rear ends in the offensive zone, and they're too tired to get out of their zone. And so we stay there for 3 minutes.
Yes.
And then we generate offense and score. That is
Instead, they did that
Florida
with our
Panthers
first
hockey.
pair. They did that with our first pairing today, Chris, where we were
Yeah.
out for a long
We were
time.
the ones that were
Even our first line forwards were.
it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I totally agree there.
Tampa played like they were down 2-0 and wanted more. They really did.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Well, last year they learned their lesson. You can't wait till you're down 3-0 to try against us. So they're like, let's go down 2-0 and maybe that'll do better luck.
I do think Parrish has a good point here, though, about the momentum. I understand, Caesar, what you're saying, and I do agree with you to an extent, but I also understand what Parrish is saying here. We're a really good road team, and sometimes we play more comfortable on the road, which is why they didn't care about the seeding.
Well,
And
yeah.
so
I can drive on that villain role.
Yeah, I don't think it would phase us per se if we lost game 4, but I also think it's gonna be how we lose.
You also can't put it past Tampa. They've been a really good home team.
They've been a very good home team, and then we beat them.
I don't want to play a fire back in there.
Yeah.
Selfishly, let's win the next 2 games. Call it a day. That's me.
Please.
I don't want to go Friday.
From
No,
your mouth to God's ears, please.
I'm praying for it, guys.
Yeah. Parrish, I agree with you on the momentum front. I don't really believe in momentum carrying from one game to another. I think each game is a new game, and I also agree with you that we're a road team. We're a good road team.
Yeah.
We can play
Unless
a
they're
good road game.
dictating that Vasi is a brick wall and you can't get a puck by him. Tampa Bay is electric on their power play. Those things can carry over. But I'm not seeing anything in Tampa Bay's game that's going to carry over to game after game here.
Right, exactly. So I don't know who agrees with me here, but I'm just who believes that momentum is from game to game, or that each game's just.
I do normally, but if Vasi, he got a quiet 30-save game, but if he was standing on his head, I'm worried about that next game.
Yes.
If Tampa's 4 for 5 on the power play, I'm worried about that for next game. It doesn't mean that's going to happen next game, but some of those things are going to carry over. The things that I saw with Tampa's game today, 5v5 special teams, I don't think that's reflective on carrying over. And games do start anew. So again, I get that.
You know, Kirby, I want to point out something here. We talk about Vasi. I do think that you could argue that it was because of him that they won, because in the first period he was under siege. We had some really good opportunities in that first period, and he made some incredible saves. If we go 2-0 there in the first period, they may not have grab the momentum back like they ended up doing.
I'm not trying to take anything away from. I'm not trying to take anything away from Vasi, Chris, but do you think we could have executed our shot making, our shot abilities a little better even to start the game?
Well, I think Marchand should have scored. Marchand put it right into his pad.
What about Ekblad's 2 chances?
I was going to say
Ekblad's got to bury one of those.
He got to bury one of those. So
Marchand had like 4 or 5 like golden A+ chances this series, and he still hasn't got one.
It's either rolled off his stick or he put it right
hands on it.
He got a lot of puck touches today too, Chris. Didn't bury any of them. Couldn't get some of those shots through even for that.
But that's what I'm saying is because Vasi made those saves, and he made some really, really good saves. If any of those go in, I think we are having a much different discussion here.
That's fair. That's fair. I just think on our end we need to do better on those.
Oh yeah, I mean, like Nick
Barkov had 5 shots tonight. People get mad when he doesn't shoot the puck. I've seen him more effective in games with 0 shots or 1 shot than those 5 that he had. Vasi made some nice saves on them, but Barkov will be the first to admit I could have got better wood on it. I could have went backhand there, forehand there. Could have had a little bit more patience on that one. Got it upstairs on him. So there was opportunities where we were.
At the end of the day, I'm with Nick. If we play our game, we shouldn't have a problem.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's all about us. At the end of the day, Tampa is a really good team. They were higher than us in the standings. They've proven that they're a good team. They've won the cup. They went 3 straight finals. All of that. But if we are playing our game, they can't beat us.
Yeah, this iteration of Tampa Bay Lightning, I tend to side with you there for sure, Chris. And I think what Tampa's looked like too, Nick, has been more familiar to last year against us.
Yeah, it's not the old Tampa Bay Lightning.
Kucherov's not unlocked here.
No, it's not. It's not the old Tampa Bay Lightning. And again, it's a tight checking series. I believe we are and will be the victor, and we're the better team. I do believe that. But it's a tight checking series against a really good team, right? And we're up 2-1. And if we can win another one on Monday, which is very possible because these games have been closer maybe than the scores have indicated, in terms of how teams have played, obviously, game one. Whatever.
I think today was a really, really close game, even though it ended up being 5-1. I don't think it didn't.
It's a one-goal game going into the third period.
I think game one was to a degree, too, how Tampa started that game. It's just we had a scoring onslaught there in the second.
Yeah,
one.
that was probably that.
And I don't think we do that again, right? So I think it's going to be a tight checking game here, and all of a sudden you put them on the brink, and you got 3 chances to close it out and play our game. But, yeah. Before we move on, Kirby.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys have next here. I agree with you there, Parrish, in the chat about it.
We got a word from our sponsor. Got to pay the bills here. Hey, Panthers fans in South Florida need real estate help? Check out Jeremy Beckham with Next Home Treasure Coast. It's a boutique service with a personal touch. Jeremy and his team put humans over houses, working hard for you, whether you're buying or selling. Ready to move? Hit up BeckSellsFLA.com or call 772-475-5371 now. You'll be glad you did. And now we have another word from our sponsor, Caneswear.
Panthers fever is here. Are you geared up? Caneswear in Davie is the place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team. Jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Caneswear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davie or at pantherswear.com. Again, that's pantherswear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers gear.
Great job, and thanks to Rod and Caneswear. All right, so what are the keys to the next game?
Simplicity. Well, first of all, prayer, but no.
I said don't suck. That was what I said.
Simplicity. Get to our game. Get the puck in deep. Get on the forecheck. Don't try to bring it through the neutral zone. Play your game. Chip the puck in. Go after it. Finish your checks. A little bit better energy. A little bit more energy. That's how we play our game.
Finish your forechecks. Finish your back checks.
Keep them to the outside. Keep them to the perimeter. Do not let them get inside. And if they want to get inside, put them on their ass. Everybody say it with me. Put them on their ass. There we go. Say it in the comments. Say it here. I don't care when you say it. Put it on
Nick,
Twitter.
I am all about the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid.
That's a coaching term. I love that, Chris.
There we go. Right?
Yeah.
How about this one for our defense? Another coaching term. KYP. Know your personnel. Forwards and X like you know each other. How about play like you know each other? Make clean exit passes. Get us through the neutral zone. Hey, forwards, you know your game. Get back and help the defense. Where's our strength? The forwards. Our defense, we've kind of patchworked that together as we've gone along this season. Forwards, come back to support the defense so we can get out of the zone clean. A lot of fans were upset in my DMs on the postgame show. We weren't executing passing plays. We weren't being clean and crisp with passes. So we need to be that Panthers team. Then we can get in on the forecheck and get zone time.
Nice. Put it up here on the screen.
It's beautiful.
There we
Simple.
go.
Put them on their ass. Do not let that fancy shit get through to you. Okay?
Nick will
That's
repeat
what we
us
need to do.
times.
Nick, we need you in the dressing room.
I don't care because it's just pissed me off because I've said that happened all day today.
They had
all
so
day.
much room in the neutral zone.
These little
Like
touch
you
passes.
go look at some of those goals. It's like before they even get to the defense, you're just like, there's no one around them. Like,
Well, the one that you guys showed with the Kucherov nice play, you got to do the same thing. You got to initiate contact and put a guy's ass or tie him up or whatever. Hey, you guys aren't going to like to hear this, but the Leafs defense is doing a better job than what the Panthers just showed in Game 3 in front of our own net. So
And
again, there's a reason why Stolarz allows all those rebounds. Those pucks don't go in because the defensemen are tying up players. I know Ottawa.
We were soft.
Tying guys up.
We were soft, and we tried fancy shit.
You can't be doing that in the next round and the round after.
Chip the puck in deep.
Especially with Toronto.
You can't. Not how they play. And you guys can laugh at me all you want, but I've watched Toronto more than probably everyone in our community this year. You have to get to those areas. You have to be greasy, and you can't let their skill just have walk alone and be in front of the slot area like Tampa, because they're equally as talented, if not more. So
Kirby, we'll find other things to laugh at you about. I
get a lot of the Toronto, Chris, like I'm supporting them, but Craig Berube hockey, you know this, Chris Scott, watching the Blues closely.
I agree with you, Die Hard. We need me on the bench with Maurice. I mean, listen, I'll say it at nauseum because it's just so. Kiss, keep it simple, stupid. Enough with this fancy shit.
We need Nick for Paul Maurice during intermissions. That's what we need.
Here's the thing: breathe out your nose, not your asshole. Breathe out your nose, not your asshole.
Please don't give us any examples.
Okay. Kirby,
Ryan,
take it away.
You want to answer that question because Nick's going to keep going here. What needs to change for next game? What's the key?
Change. We need to move our feet a little more, first of all, and we can't be as slow as we did today. I don't know if it's because it's like the little afternoon games where they decide to be slow as shit.
I've said it last time. I've said it before.
We're terrible at those.
We suck at afternoon games.
I'm gonna be honest.
I saw it.
Caesar, I think you'd be moving faster on the ice than they were today.
Shit,
we could have had the afternoon matinee game in game 1 again.
I want Caesar on the ice. You know how funny that would be?
Have you guys seen Tokyo Drift?
Caesar was on the ice.
That should be Caesar Drift.
Also, finish your checks, boys. Come on.
Yeah.
It's a playoff series.
I don't know how many players had 0 hits tonight.
3 or 4.
Forsling,
not acceptable.
Kulikov.
They actually had Kachuk without a hit.
Also, Parrish in the comments. I totally agree with you, dog. I don't buy any of this Leafs hype until they beat a good team.
Well, you just Ryan just to blindly hate them. Okay.
No, I've watched them.
You don't think you think that we would walk through them? As
we can't sit there and underestimate
unless Stolarz
them.
implodes, but they do have Wolf.
Yeah.
We have guaranteed 2 games where you get to play Stolarz and we get embarrassing.
Well,
I don't really agree with this comment here, Frank. The crowd was really amazing today. It's just that when we don't play our game, it's kind of hard for the crowd to get into it. You know?
To cheer for turnovers in the neutral zone. Like,
I thought the crowd was pretty good on TV, but Caesar, Nick, you guys
when we started,
it was very good. You couldn't even cheer for a hit because they weren't laying any.
Yeah.
So I mean, like the effort was pathetic today.
I thought it was one of the loudest crowds I've been to.
I will say a big difference is sometimes Florida, when I've been to games during the regular season, I'd say not like playoff games, is you do need something to happen and cheer. Yeah. It's not like when I go to games in Edmonton or even I went to the Bell Center, Software Nations, it's constant cheering. It wasn't just like, oh, when something happens or this. It was just like loud all the time. There's no bit of quiet.
I use Winnipeg as an analogy.
It's these cities that like are built around the hockey team. Like
look
every
at Ottawa
today. Edmonton, you are standing on your feet 90% of the time. You're cheering. You're clapping.
Minnesota was standing on their feet for the whole overtime. They said.
Oh, for sure. You don't sit down during overtime.
Hey Kirby, what stream are you watching? Are you watching Sportsnet or were you?
This series there is no Canadian broadcast, so I've been on the TNT TBS one.
I've noticed a lot, and I think it's ESPN more than it is the TNT, but they're like muting out a little bit of the crowd noise.
Yeah,
and I think it's really frustrating because one thing about playoff hockey is the emotion part of it, right? And you feel it
from the crowd noise.
Exactly. So it's just. I don't like that. Whatever ESPN is doing, they're doing a really bad job with.
Yeah, and they call the games remote for some of these Canadian. The game for Toronto was called remote from Atlanta. Like, what the fuck is that shit?
Oh, on your guys' feed.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's why whenever I look for my perfectly legal streams, I make sure that I get the Sportsnet feed when I can.
Antonio, I am not changing any defensive pairings. You can't. I don't think you can really change anything. Forsling with Jones, sure, but then I don't like Mikkola with Ekblad.
Mikkola and Ekblad
like
nightmare.
pairings a lot, and it's a very hard thing to do in hockey.
Like, how many times have we changed pairings over the last
when we're injured or when we have
fully healthy over the last 3 years?
Not much.
I mean,
the last time I remember we made a big change pairing wise when we're all healthy is when we put Ben Sherratt with Ekblad, and that drove me fucking crazy.
So we're talking about what, 3-4 years ago?
Uyghur got dropped down the lineup, and then Montour was eating popcorn.
So I remember Stahl got moved up with Ekblad, and Forsling got moved down with Montour for a short bit, but then that ended quickly. That was like a game or two, and then they were right back to it, and it's been the same
I think I'm a faster skater than Mark Stahl. So that was a terrible idea.
Our whole middle pairing is gone from that year, Kirby. Are you sad?
Yeah, I don't know. We keep switching our middle pairing.
Here's a question: would you bring back Montour, but you have to bring back current Mark Stahl with him?
If Jones replaces Ekblad, the middle pairing will change again. So, and Kulikov is now off of that middle pairing, which that was a stretch to start the year, but
he did it. Man, Dmitry Kulikov, credit to him, man, and he's probably been the most steady defenseman of the playoffs for us.
Wow, second year.
Although Seth Jones,
so I guess our
middle
pairing will be different again next year because it won't be Mikkola and Kulikov. I hope to God it wouldn't be. So that's going to change in the offseason. They have to see what happens with Ekblad, and then Jones is going to either slide up on top pairing, which is a lot of you Panther fans are going to lose your mind, or he'll be on that middle pairing with.
Well, they're calling for it right now.
What?
And they're calling for it right now with Jones and Forsling. We combine.
Well, it can happen if Ekblad walks and they don't bring someone in. You can't just throw whoever up there with Forsling. We've learned this.
41 shots on net, 2 goals allowed in 2 games with that defensive pairing. You can't.
I think Mikkola is more pliable and flexible to play with different partners than Forsling is, to be honest with you.
So you think Mikkola could play with Ekblad? You think Ekblad and Mikkola would?
No, I'm saying next year if Ekblad isn't here, Mikkola, you throw him with whoever. If Jones has to come up and play with Forsling.
Well, I think Jones, that's the plan, and then they're going to add a middle pairing guy.
Well, I think that's why they brought Jones in, because it opens up a lot of options for them.
Yeah, too bad we can't get Kirby's guy Pionk.
Pionk, yeah. I was really trying there.
I really wanted
guys that have come off the market. We talked about Sanheim once upon a time. He was a left-handed D. We talked about Rasmus Anderson. Don't know what's happening.
Noah Hannafin.
No, he didn't have a great year in Calgary, but
Noah Hannafin, man,
Noah Hannafin. Nick talked about.
Gosh, we let him get away, man. He should be a Florida Panther right now.
I mean, I remember when Columbus was trying to shop Werenski a few years back, and I wanted him here.
Oh
man!
Remember Gavrikov we mentioned?
Yeah. I was locked down Gavrikov. Like, I know he's really good now on the Kings, but I wasn't really high on him.
Frank says, I don't know why Maurice changed the lines from game 1. We had perfect depth throughout all 4 lines. I don't get it. Why did we change the lines from game 1 and 2? I mean, it didn't really make
game 2 we started demoting guys.
Well, I noticed that, so that's probably what it was then, right?
I did not like Erod up top there.
Because I think game 2 we started with the same lines, didn't we, Chris? Caesar from game 1, I thought we did.
Yeah.
We started, yes.
Yeah.
But then Maurice started to make changes. And when Maurice makes changes in game, that will usually carry over to the next one. And you saw that with Mackey dropping down the lineup, Erod bumping up, and so forth. But with the defense, Frank, I don't think you can do that with your defense when it's fully healthy. Start juggling things. It's really not done in hockey too much, right, Nick? You're not doing that with your defense partners. Unless you're really struggling and you're trying
to. A lot of teams lack defensive depth. Like, your top pair guys,
otherwise, what are we bringing Belinkas back in?
What do you have? You don't have top 4 defensemen on your bottom pairs usually. So,
I think they want guys allotted at their appropriate minutes now. But look at Kulikov's minutes. It's been a yo-yo. 20 minutes one game, 17 minutes another, 13 minutes, I think, in game 3. So we got to stabilize those minutes with the defense. Try to stay out of the box, play some 5v5 hockey, and that'll help the defense as well. I don't think you can get into a groove either when you're killing a lot of penalties and things like that. So more discipline in game 4. Caesar, what else you got for us? Do we got any little around the NHL stuff? You were going to show us some stuff before we wrap here.
Yeah. Let me check here.
We got to talk about that Leafs and Sens game today.
Yes. Let me see if I can pull up the game-winning goal here.
Okay.
So I do like this for our perspective here in this series because now Toronto's not getting that extra rest. I think, that could help them, build that confidence and prepare for the next opponents, watch film. Now they have to travel back home.
I was not trying to deal with the team straight off of a sweep. No,
He scores!
I wonder what we're going to listen to next. I wonder what's next. Oh, Ottawa and Toronto. How could I have guessed?
I believe that was the Ottawa call there.
That's the TNT.
Or TNT, sorry.
Gosh, I'm sorry. All due respect to this commentator, it's just terrible. The TNT.
Who is that TNT guy?
I don't even know. It's the old Pittsburgh guy. It's terrible.
Yes, okay.
I think it's the current Columbus guy.
All right.
Racing over Sanders. He shoots. He scores! Jake Sanderson in overtime for Ottawa. The Senators are still alive.
And
real quick,
really quick here. Ottawa in 7 for Kirby is still alive here.
There we go.
Austin Matthews, that's what you deserve for being terrible the first half on my fantasy team.
That's Fantasy Hockey League.
Now, could you imagine if Linus Olmark was able to see the Simone Benoit shot? Then they might have been even more in this series.
The Senators have been outplaying the Toronto Maple Leafs, but goaltending has been, and defense breakdowns for Ottawa. And Ottawa's this year, that's their biggest issue is their defense. So
no. I think if Allmark played just like how he did today, which was not even that great,
or the regular season,
yeah, every single game they'd be up 3-1 easily 3-1.
Yeah, I know Caesar wants to get Allmark out of the net, but he has been good for them this year, but in the playoffs, he's really let them down. And Caesar, you said it doesn't matter how much salary he's being paid, you want to bench him. Well, that was the Patrick Waugh script last year with Sorokin when they went to Varlamov. But again, I don't know.
It was Varlamov.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine though. Like I think on the goaltending front, I think Toronto goes with Stolarz next game for sure. I don't think they're going to move away from that.
We talk with them every game. So.
No.
They went with him every game. Now, again, if he has another bad game and they lose, then it starts to get interesting because now you're making Toronto go back to Ottawa.
Well, it's like
people are going to say, Ryan, he hasn't had a bad game, but I've saw him allow bad goals every game,
every single game,
bad rebound control.
Yeah,
and I think Toronto fans are going to start to realize after this one, Ryan, maybe he's not as good as we thought he has been here. Ottawa's missed the net a lot. They haven't fired a lot of shots on net, and they haven't got to high danger areas.
I told my Toronto friends his rebound control stinks, and they've been saying all series, "Oh my god, I get a nightmare every time." And how did this one go in? And how did this squeaker? And yeah, I think Wall getting pulled out was a little fucked up. I totally agree because if you look at their playoff numbers too, Wall has like one of the best playoff numbers in the league. But man, Stolarz really showed who he was today. He can't catch. His glove has always been weak. He can't catch onto the puck. His rebound control is terrible. And that breakaway Pinto scored was a squeaker. That should have been saved. That was not a
Brady scores that in game 1. We got a whole nother series here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think for Stolarz, the interesting thing is going to be is that he's never played this much.
You can tell he looked fatigued.
Like he's probably getting tired because what was the most he ever did with us? I don't even remember what it was, but
this year was his career high, over 30 games.
Yeah, and so even in the regular season, and so now we're getting into playoffs, which is even harder because you're playing every other night.
Yeah,
he's going to get, in my opinion, he's going to get tired, and he's going to start letting more of those squeakers go in, and they may end up having to put Wall back.
He was tired today.
He's been short side all series. He's been beat now on the glove. He's had pucks go through him this game here, Ryan. That one that McCabe saved along the line.
Yeah,
he's had a lot of luck on his side.
Morgan Riley, I'm pretty sure, saved him one. There was at least 3 where his
there were a few.
Bailed him out completely.
And people are like, to me, Kirby, I don't like Bob's technique today. Are you watching Anthony Stolarz? Are we watching? Like, come on. We're blessed to have Bob. If Bob is a little off on an angle and get a little wobbly on one play, he corrects himself the next save or the next play or the next game. Stolarz has been all over the ice, snow angeling, making saves, and Toronto thinks that's good. I think that's a fallacy. And you're going to see it as it goes along here in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think – so going back to my prediction on the Toronto series, I had Toronto in 6, but I said would not shock me if it was in 5. I think they're going to win game 5.
I don't think they deserve to win in 5 games in this series.
No, I don't think I don't think they do either because I think Ottawa's deserved some better fate. But
I still think Ottawa in 7. I don't care.
I
Here's
don't
the thing.
think you guys.
I don't know. I've got that pick, but I don't know.
Here's the thing.
I think Toronto wins next game, and if they don't win next game, somehow they're winning in Game 6. So
Here's the thing.
A lot of pressure.
What does Ottawa have to lose right now?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Brady said he's been watching Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees film.
So I mean, literally, they can go
that's
to
a good thing. The
Toronto.
Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees don't fucking hit the net in forecheck. So I don't really know what he's doing with that.
They could literally go to Toronto, play loose. They're like, you know what? Let's just go out there and play our asses off with whatever happens. If we go back home, we got another series. Hey,
Ottawa's been their own worst enemy. I'm not taking anything.
Florida did it to Boston.
But
Yeah, but
they're the worst enemy.
I'm going to be honest. I get it. I mean,
I'm not saying they're going to win the series. I'm not saying they're going to win the series.
I think it's Toronto in 5 at this point. If it's not 5, then it's 6.
I root for chaos.
That's what I agree.
I always root for chaos unless it's the Panthers. Then I want to sweep every time. So every other series, I'm always about chaos. So now, I'm hoping Omar just becomes premier Dominic Hasek for the next 3 games.
He has the ability to do that.
That's what makes the Stanley Cup playoffs so much better, by the way. More chaos than any other league.
Yeah.
And listen, that was bullshit with New Jersey there in overtime again, just like they did against the Rangers when they were 1 goal away.
I'm ignoring that series. I'm not even watching
my
that.
sweep.
That's a garbage series. But I want to talk about compare this to the NBA.
I'm still alive.
NBA series.
I'm still alive.
If you look at the NBA playoffs, teams are literally -2, -3,000 to win the series, and you don't get anything close to that in hockey. Like
I can speak since I am a Memphis Grizzlies supporter. That is 100% true. The NBA playoffs first round is a worthless waste of time.
Look at Miami.
I don't even know why they do it anymore.
There's been one good series. The only good series, it
doesn't surprise me.
The only good series is the Nuggets and Clippers.
Yeah, you get 1 or 2 good series in the NBA. It's the opposite with the NHL. You might get 1 or 2 duds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Also, Chris Scott, sorry, SGA is too good. That's that Canadian boy.
I will say this in the defense of my Grizzlies, even though there was no way they were ever going to win this series. they're not good enough. Game 3, that was such a cheap shot on Ja.
Yeah.
That was a cheap shot.
Yeah.
We were up by like 25 at that point. He's out the rest of the game. We should have won Game 3, but there was no way we were ever going to even come close to in that series. That's why I don't.
Oh,
even though I root for them because I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee, I don't actually watch the game.
But in the
has
NBA,
anybody ever been to it? Has anybody ever
get the 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, and you get a Game 7 or something in those series, and it had the parity in the NBA has really gone away.
I also think yes, and you take a look at the finals the last couple of years. Like, has anybody ever been to an NBA playoff game?
No,
I have.
I have. I went
Grizzlies.
to. Oh, there you go.
Grizzlies. The grindhouse. It's been a good
grit and grind, man.
I mean, I went to Miami versus Denver a couple of years ago, and it was just. I mean, the atmosphere was just piss poor.
They don't actually start playing until the 4th quarter. And even then, it's got to be close for them to even play.
It's not close. It's like look at the finals.
It wasn't like this before.
No, it wasn't.
When I was
not in the 2000s, not in the early 20s.
No, and even when LeBron and Wade were there,
Adam Silver was the problem of it.
Yes, because
he let them all take over control of the league, the players.
That series against San Antonio and Miami Heat, I don't care what you say, that was one hell of a series. I know it was the finals, but I mean,
you're still going to get some good basketball, but the product itself.
It's bad. It's all ISO.
Playoffs.
It's all ISO. Like
no ball movement, and all they do is either layups or threes. I never want to see a transition, a player run out to the perimeter to shoot a 3 when you're on a 2-on-1.
Analytics has wrecked the sport too, and I get on hockey about certain analytics.
And the fact that they don't ever call a travel.
Analytics has ruined analytics has ruined baseball too.
Don't get me started on baseball.
Come around the other way now a bit. They're
baseball analytics make a little bit more sense to me.
Yeah, but it's getting to it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
No, but we've talked to baseball, Ryan, in our community. Some models and teams are trying to go the other way now on it.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm just saying,
We'll see.
Fuck is this shit? I apparently
baseball
was
is also a sore subject.
This has nothing to do with analytics. I was watching a game the other day. Manager doesn't even come out anymore to challenge a call. Fuck is that shit?
Yeah,
you can't walk.
where's the Lou Pinellas of the world?
Yes,
I want a base
he
stolen.
can't walk out 10, 12 steps to the fucking umpire and say, "Hey, I want to challenge this."
I want Caesar. I need you to pull up this video of the manager, the minor league manager that's like doing an army crawl.
Oh, that was for the Braves manager.
And then,
Yes.
And then
Yes.
he acts like he tosses a grenade.
Let me pull this up here.
It is the greatest video of all time, other than the Scott Sterling videos. If
Oh,
you've ever watched Scott Sterling videos,
I don't know.
absolutely
I don't know
gold.
if you remember
Yeah.
the old Marlins manager, Mike Redmond. He used to play for I think the Marlins also.
Yeah.
There was this one time, and it's like freaking it's like I think there was a play at home. They were called out, and he blocked it, and they overturned the call. And he went out there, and he went fucking nuts. It was awesome. I want that back. I want that back.
Or like, so I'm a St. Louis Cardinals fan. With Caesar, I went to the Braves Cardinals game this past week. I know you're a Braves fan. I need to send you some pictures of the ballpark while I was there.
Hey, if you got to listen to my episode with Brian Godden, really good.
I gotta hit that up.
A fun fact about the Braves: they're the only team top 10 in payroll without a winning record.
Yeah, well, they've actually came back and won today.
To be fair, they did start out against the Dodgers and the Padres this year. Let's give them a little bit of a break there.
Here's the video that you were talking about.
This is it right here.
Let's go full screen. Get us off the screen so everybody can see the full photo.
All right, ready? Let me put you guys. All right.
It's one of my favorite videos. So we don't get stuff like this anymore.
Yeah, that's what I miss.
Like,
I miss John Gibbons.
Or like, when I was saying, I'm a Cardinals fan, when you have Tony La Russa and Dusty Baker like cussing each other out from the dugouts. Like, we just don't have that anymore.
Yeah, close.
So epic.
Closest you probably get now is in hockey with.
That's why another thing is people don't like Bryce Harper. I used to love when he used to do dumb shit like this too.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I love it.
He actually draws a lot.
It's just so good.
And the boys
not done yet.
Clubhouse after that too.
Oh, he's going off on everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He steals the base.
There we go. Stealing third base.
And he's on his way to second, folks. Will he
Going
get
the
there?
wrong way.
Will he get there in time? The throw is not in time.
What do you call that sport where the
shot put?
The shot put?
Oh,
Discus.
And now he's crawling up to the plate.
That's why this clip will always go down in all time.
He's getting the rosin bag.
Oh yeah, I forgot he actually threw the rosin bag. That's so good.
He threw a good toss.
That was great.
And then he bows to the crowd.
Get out of here.
Has anybody ever seen The Naked Gun?
That's going way back. Chris is
That's a little old for me.
I grew up on that.
You got to watch it. They can't make movies like that anymore. The original Naked Gun, where Frank Drebin, Leslie Nielsen's character, is playing an umpire, and he starts throwing out the other umpires because they were all arguing with him.
That's not far off.
It's so good.
Well, it used to be so.
Well, we went down a rabbit hole today. I didn't expect.
We did. I take 100% blame for that.
No, it's awesome.
Honestly, we needed that. After today's loss, you know. But yeah, anything else, guys, before we get wrapping up here?
No, I think we covered.
I have
you want to finish around going around?
I have one thing to say. If you know what I'm going to say it with me, everybody.
Put them
on their ass.
All right, one.
Good night, everybody.
Two. No, wait. Hold on. I got to put a video up. Relax.
Well, you got to be ready because Nick gets closed out. Goes out on space.
Nick's getting antsy. It's a bedtime.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
not anymore.
No, we got a video on the way out. But Ryan, Chris, thank you for joining us. We'll definitely have you back on here for these playoffs or off season when we get back to some after dark stuff. We're gonna have content in the off season as well. So
really appreciate everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining us even after being in spaces. Shout out to the people in the arena for loving our podcast. Yes. We had a few people come up to us. We really appreciate your love. We do this because of you guys. We definitely keep it real, original, and that's what makes us unique. And because of you guys, we make this go running all every day. So really appreciate it. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Chris, Nick, Kirby.
Yep.
Like always, let's go Cats, and let's get a win on Monday.
There we go.
Tell someone 3 months ago you're going to see a title called Schmidt Stays.
They're going to come out flying like they did last game. We just got to stay calm and weather the storm and go from there.
The Panthers lead the series 1-0 off a 6-2 win back on Tuesday night to open up the series. Game 2 of the Sunshine State Showdown is set to go, and we are underway here in downtown Tampa.
Tampa had a good opening couple of minutes. Panthers with a good kill, keeping it scoreless. Reinhardt the feed, then Schmidt again! You can't stop him! Number 88 with his third goal of the series already.
He needs to keep shooting the puck, that's for sure. He's got a great shot. He's being aggressive right now, and it's great to see.
We got it through to Gensel in front, it's point! Big save, Bobrovsky! And then a deflection off the Panther is stopped by Sergei.
It's pretty incredible. When the moment gets bigger, that's when he just seems to be more on his game. And he made some incredible saves tonight again, just keep us in it. So
put out in front, Hedman, Moser, the shot! Sergei Bobrovsky robbed him! What a save by Bobrovsky!
Center ice Bennett, long shot of the empty net, he scores! Sam Bennett on the empty net. The final horn sounds, and the Panthers take both games in Tampa to start the series. The Panthers win it 2-0, 19-save shutout for Sergei Bobrovsky.
You have a 1-0 lead and Sasha goes out. How tough is he to replace?
He means everything. He's our captain, our leader, and we gotta be able to step up, everybody. We all own him that to step up and make sure the job is taken care of.
And Bobby led the way.
All right, that was fun. Let's reset, refocus, and do it again.
What's up, Cats and Rats fans? If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button before you head out. If you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. And just like always, let's go Cats!